Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about War of the Worlds. And this movie came out in 2025, and there are a couple War of the Worlds movies, but I'm talking the one that came out a year ago, 2025, like I said already, starring Ice Cube, and it's available on Amazon Prime for free. And I was like, okay, this movie is supposedly very funny, and that's what I got out of it. A very funny, bad movie that I had a great time watching. Pretty much it fails on every level in terms of making a good movie, but one thing that it does not fail at is entertainment. The portrayal of the internet in this movie I found to be very cheesy. None of it made any sense to me in terms of the specifics of how things work. And I'm not going to get into specifics really because that might take a while, and I don't want this review to be me just talking about that. But there are a lot of details that just I couldn't get behind and just made me wondering why you would do this or that. That doesn't make any sense. And the story itself, it does hit similar beats to the 2005 film, and I personally wasn't a fan of that version, the Spielberg one, and that's the only other War of the Worlds movie I think I've seen. But after watching this movie, I do have some newfound appreciation for that film. I can remember parts of that film, and even before watching this movie, there were moments that stood out to me as memorable from that 2005 film that are just stuck in my head. Like the way that they present the aliens and the machines, like when we first see that alien machine, like it's actually kind of scary and intimidating, and they feel like real threats. Whereas in this movie, they don't really feel that presence because the visual effects don't look good in this movie. They're not very well blended in the environments, and they always look cheesy, and the frame rate is off at times. And I just was wondering, how did these effects get approved? And also, the way that this movie is presented, it's all basically through a computer screen, and you're never really given a shot outside of this, except for maybe once. And it's pretty much just a found footage movie at best. And I was just thinking of Searching and how information was presented in that movie. And in that movie, the camera wasn't zooming in on certain moments or anything like that on the computer screen. It was all pretty much just stationary, and the editing does a lot of work in that film as well. And I just felt as though the overall presentation in that movie was infinitely better than this movie. I know it's different filmmakers, but still, at the same time, the way things are filmed in this movie, at times it was actually worse than a found footage movie. Like I was thinking about Cloverfield a little bit, or the Blair Witch Project, or even Paranormal Activity to some extent. Like, those movies, at the very least, can give you somewhat of an idea of what's going on, and when you see things, it's brief enough to where you can tell what you're supposed to be looking at, and also just leave just enough to the imagination to what's going on, even if things are a bit shaky and a little difficult to see at times. But you can justify it with some excuses in some scenarios, whereas this movie is just all over the place, and when you can't see what's going on, it just feels really bad and poorly filmed and communicated visually. There are cameras everywhere in this movie, and sure, you want to play into the idea that, yeah, there's cameras everywhere. Everyone's being surveillanced now, but the way it was portrayed in this movie just felt a bit off, and I just couldn't really get behind it. It was simultaneously using that type of approach in a way that was too far and not far enough. And it's a little difficult to describe. Like, if it was just a little bit smarter with its presentation, or just had more purpose to it, or had more to say than just these basic surface level ideas, I think it would have been a lot better. The acting in this movie was atrocious. Ice Cube, I never once believed I was watching a character. All the time I was just looking at Ice Cube, and it never once felt as though I was looking at a character. And his line delivery is pretty funny in this movie. Whenever he's trying to emote, it's hilarious. So when we first get to the invasion in this movie, I was laughing. I could not stop laughing. I thought it was so funny. And I was always just enjoying the stupidity of everything. Like, this is the exact kind of bad movie that I want. Just nothing makes any sense. Just to throw out a bunch of nonsense, and we're just trying to get from A to B, and how we get there doesn't matter, but we just go crazy with it. And that's what this movie does. And none of it looks good, but you know what? They do make it entertaining. I wasn't bored for even a second while watching this movie. I was with it. I was laughing. I was having a blast. I had already said that the visual effects in this movie looked bad, but they don't look bad for a movie that's being released now. They look like they were done by a YouTuber from like 10 years ago, like a very unprofessional YouTuber that just got their hands on the idea of, oh, I can use visual effects now. Let's do this. Like a Nostalgia Critic video. It looked no better than a Nostalgia Critic video. The designs of the alien machines looked goofy to me as well, and a huge step down from the 2005 film. One thing that I really love about this movie, and this is me laughing at it, is what the aliens are actually after. And the way that's presented in the movie is so goofy. And just how they do it was hilarious to me. I loved it. None of the action in this movie was particularly satisfying from an action movie standpoint. It was all just a bunch of nonsense and just kind of dumb and stupid and cheesy. There are also some implied character deaths, and then we realize, oh, those characters didn't actually die because the movie doesn't actually want to kill off characters. We don't want to make the audience feel emotions, but whenever that happened, I was laughing. I thought it was very stupid. The characters in this movie are kind of annoying. The music in this movie is also kind of annoying, and whenever it tries to be serious, it never once works for me, and that's the whole movie. And when it tries to be funny, which is very, very infrequent, I can only think of like 2 times where it was trying to be funny off the top of my head, and even those moments fell flat for me, and I just couldn't take them seriously. And this movie also felt incredibly cheap, with it all pretty much taking place on a computer screen. Like, I never once felt as though any of this movie's budget was being used efficiently. Like, it all felt like a set. It never once felt like we were at locations. It either felt like a really small set, or it felt like we were just shooting it at someone's house, like just a random dude's house, and that's the whole movie. And this movie's budget was roughly under $10 million, and it does not look like that at all. It looks no more than $1 million. And that's being generous. And that's about all I have to say about War of the Worlds from 2025. It was terrible. Nothing about it works, but it's a very funny movie. It's 90 minutes, the perfect runtime, and I would watch this movie again. It was very entertaining for me. So check this movie out if you like funny bad movies, but if that's not your cup of tea, then skip it. The only way to watch it currently is on Amazon Prime, and it's free to watch there, so you don't have to rent it or anything. You can just click on it and you get to watch it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give War of the Worlds from 2025 a 1 out of 10, but it's a very funny movie, as in like a positive. Like on Letterboxd, I rated it a 1 out of 10, but with a like, if that makes sense to anyone watching. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of War of the Worlds from 2025, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Goodbye June. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching, and have a great day.